الله أكبر الله أكبر.
You guys interested about Islam?
I've
Yeah.
actually read the Quran.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm always
You're a Muslim. Assalamu alaikum, sister.
always interested in learning more.
Okay.
Do you have is this to meet with other Muslims?
So please, if you have any questions, yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah, absolutely. If you have time, I would like to explain to you the very minimum things that you have to believe to become a Muslim.
I know about Shahada. So
Okay.
I know about that.
But what does Shahada mean?
It means belief in one God.
One God
And that you recognize the Prophet as the one Prophet.
as the last prophet,
As the last prophet.
which implies the other prophets as well.
Yes.
So you believe in Jesus and Moses and
all
David
the-
and all the exactly. So if you have these already, you're already a Muslim.
I'm technically, I joke with my friends that I feel like I'm a borderline
In clause Muslim.
But I'm Christian, but I'm just
Okay.
interested in so many different faiths because I feel that they all have such value that I would never say to someone else that I don't think that your faith is you know what I mean? I would never close someone off because of that.
I see. Hey, do you think you're still a Christian?
I think so. I feel like for me, it really resonates with my being. Not necessarily because I have my issues. There's some things I have issues with.
Okay.
But I'm very much like a monotheist. I don't necessarily think it's a very long story to get into. But I have issues with the concept of the Trinity.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. I was about to say that.
Which is why for me it's very much that's why I say to people, especially my friends, that I feel like it's almost like an Islamic view that I have of God being just one, and that to me Jesus
Three
is
in
just
one.
someone who is spread a beautiful
A prophet of
message.
God, yeah.
Exactly.
As simple as that. You don't have to complicate it.
Exactly.
That's actually the very thing in Islam and Christianity that go head to head. You cannot reconcile these two concepts,
It's
you know?
very complicated.
Yeah, the Trinity, to us, it's simply three gods, you know? You're basically you're a polytheist.
Yeah.
It's just you're stopping at three gods, you know?
But it's interesting because originally, before, I don't know if you know about the Council of Nicaea.
Okay, all the economical concepts as well.
Exactly. There was Nestorian Christians
Yeah?
who were very against the concept of the Trinity, and it was only because of Constantine that he was
Yeah, the first council was against Arians, actually.
Yes.
Then-
Yeah, I think so.
So Arians actually believed in something called subordinationism. If you've ever heard of this.
I think so. I think I have.
It's let's say a diluted form of Trinity. They wouldn't say that the Trinity is like God, the Father, Son, and Spirit, three co-equal persons. They would say no. There's only one true ultimate God, who is the Father, and then Jesus is let's say demigod. He's right in between God and humanity, but he's not ultimate God. That's why they call them subordinationists. They subordinate Jesus to God. But the Trinitarians say no, they are co-equal, co-eternal, co-substantial, at the same level, everything, right?
Yeah.
And then the Nestorianism is totally different,
I
a
know.
totally different thing.
For me, it's all very complicated.
But that's what we say is that this you cannot even forget about Muslims, right? Forget about Islam. Imagine if Islam doesn't exist. To come and test the very idea of Trinity, it itself does not make sense coherently, you know?
No.
Because it's a contradiction when you say that you have three gods or three persons who are distinct, fully God, yet they are one God, right? That's what doesn't resonate with us, you know? There are many similarities between Christianity and Islam and Judaism, you know, and most of religions, right? But these are the core concepts that the whole religion is based on, right? It doesn't matter if you believe in some secondary thing, right? But you still have problems with the main thing, you know? But again, I think you're on the right spot, you know? That's these are the very questions that you should ask. Exactly, you know? Why would I worship a human being just like me and you know? Why why would I believe in that God somehow came into existence, yet he created existence, right? Why do you need to come into existence, right? Why should I believe that my salvation is based on the blood of an innocent man, right? It was Jesus, right? Is that just? And it goes back to the original sin, to the crucifixion, all these fundamental concepts, right? Why the mistake of my father Adam should be on my shoulder, right? I'm going to account for my mistakes, right? All these things actually, what makes Christianity. So if you don't believe in them, if you go to any priest, he's not going to tell you're a Christian, right? Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. So question is, because I can't remember exactly in Islam, but for salvation, how does it work in Islam?
You believe in God, you do good works.
Okay.
That's
Yeah. Essentially. Yeah.
الذين, in fact, in the Quran says الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. Those who believed and did good deeds. According to what? What are these good deeds? It's all in the Quran. Many nations and tribes, like let's say for example, there's a tribe in the Amazon, right? They don't have me to tell them about Islam or anyone else, right? We say that their God created them with their natural disposition, what we call fitrah. The thing that you created on is to recognize this God, which is actually like Islam. Like the very word of Islam means submission
To God.
to recognize exactly, and this is instilled in us. If nothing pollutes it, you're gonna stay on this position, you know. And that's what it says like about, for example, let's say the indigenous people, right? Maybe they didn't have a prophet or something, right? But they had this thing to help them recognize God, right? Also, God says in the Quran that I've sent many prophets, not just the ones mentioned there, right? To all nations in their own mother tongue, so they can understand the message of God, right? It would be unfair to think of God that He's unjust to let people not know about Him, right? He created us for a reason, and He told us about this reason. He reached out to us, you know? And again, you have all these resources. You're gonna have a lot of, like, a big Muslim community in the university. Why not join them? You know, you don't have to. You know, you can do more. You can do better. You know, we're not in the jungles anymore, right? So yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much for your time.
Again, absolutely. If you have any questions, again, all these resources. If you wanna pick up anything, it's all free. Assalamu alaikum. Take care.